What's going on, everybody? This is Brian with Texas Gun Experience, and today we're going to talk about the Grand Power Stribog chambered in 45. But before we do, this kind of came all about from a series of unfortunate events. So I really love subguns in the idea of the 45 subgun just being something different. It's a subsonic round. It's a big chunky boy that you're sending down range, and there's some really cool stuff out there in the market that either we don't have access to as civilians, or that maybe just haven't succeeded in their application. And two of those examples are in front of me, and we'll actually show those in the video a little bit too. The video is not about those guns, it's about the Grand Power. But the H&K UMP 45 was kind of the start to everything. That is just a blowback operated, it's a very lightweight gun, mostly polymer. They meant to take over the MP5 platform with that. Didn't have quite that much success, but that gun is reliable. This is actually one of our machine guns that we rent out daily. So that thing is a true workhorse and a lot of fun, but it's nothing that you or I can get. There are kits out there, Tommy built things like that, make them, but they're wildly expensive and also not that great for reliability. So that's not really an option for us other than, maybe once in a lifetime, you come in and rent a gun kind of thing. The other one being the LWRC SMG45. That gun is one of my biggest heartbreaks. I love the firearm. I love the way it looks, the way it feels. It just feels so quality. However, that has been nothing but issues for me shooting it. So from day one, yes, some of them are plagued with accuracy issues, which LWRC actually has a fix for that. And even with this one, we sent it back. They did some warranty work on it, got it back to us. Accuracy has been no issue with that. The problem has been actually feeding. So it does not like to feed rounds into the gun, which makes it kind of useless. And the series of unfortunate events had been, we were doing some in the shooting range, down range with kit on. We were doing night vision stuff, and we were doing different drills. And long story short, that gun just wouldn't run for me. It'd be every 2 or 3 rounds, it would be a failure to feed. So while I'm under full kit, under nods, I have a camera on my face to show different perspective. Trying to do immediate action on this thing, and it was getting really frustrating. So kind of wasted a day of filming just because we were trying to play with that gun. And I got frustrated. I talked to Global Ordnance, who's the main distributor for the Stribog, and I asked them, hey, what's up with this? This is what we're looking to do. Can I get one in so we can take a look at it and play? So that's what we're doing. So today we spent some good time on the range. This gun right now has about 600 rounds in it, and it's in total. But I want to talk about the gun, some of its history, and then obviously what we did to this one. Now, there are plenty of reviews out there on the all-new 10mm one, and even more reviews on the 9. The 9's been out for about 5-6 years now. The 10mm and the 45 are all new and have a lot of people excited. Now, there are other 10mm and 45 PCCs out in the market, but not any kind of like dedicated standalone stuff. There's always some type of either AR type PCC or kind of clones of other things. But this one is dedicated to itself. It kind of took some homework cues off of the B&T if you look at it. So we can kind of jokingly call this the B&T at home, but that's okay. The build quality on this has proved to be quite great, and nothing but real good things so far. So this is a Slovak design, and actually the term, it is pronounced Stribog, Stribog. It is the name of a Slovakian god of storm. So the idea was like, we want to storm our enemies with this, and that's why they called it that. So if you want to nerd out on that stuff, there you go. But let's cover the gun front to back, kind of show you what it's all about and also what we did to it. So starting from the front of it, this does have an 8-inch barrel. It is a button-pulled barrel, so you're going to get a little bit better accuracy with it. But the thread pitch on it is that .578, so very similar to many 45 caliber handguns out in the market. We did put an Arms Republic brake on the front of it, but the way it comes is has a thread protector on it. So if you want to run it suppressed, you can, or if you want to put some type of comp and brake, you can on it as well. The Armed Republic brake actually just looks cool. Yes, it does work, and we have some slow-mo shots here of you can kind of see the gas dispersion of it. It doesn't make it super concussive because, I mean, it's not a really high pressure round, but it does help mitigate recoil quite a bit. It does have a full M-LOK handguard, and then of course the charging handle. The charging handle is non-reciprocating, and you can move it from either side. So the gun for the most part is almost fully ambidextrous, so that makes it really nice. If you're used to anything, if you're used to the MP5s, the UMPs, any of those things with a charging handle up the top, it's the same thing. It doesn't have the kind of the HK slap like some of those, but the actual controls down by your shooting hand are very AR. So you can kind of meld the two together to make this work quite well. Now there are actual sights built into the Picatinny here. It's kind of wild. So there's this little front sight post, and then on the actual Picatinny, there's a notch cut into one. So you would get really low on the gun if you wanted to get a good sight picture with the irons. So it actually does come with irons kind of pre-installed. But for us, again, we were doing a lot of heads up kind of shooting. We wanted something that not just a higher mounted optic, but irons that would be a little higher as well. So we got some backup irons on there. We have the little the laser aiming device too. And then of course the Holosun aims. I like the aims quite a bit. It's weird because it's kind of a smaller or mid-sized optic, but it feels so much larger, the window, when you're looking at it. Kind of, the outside perimeter of that optic kind of goes away, and you get that really good kind of crisp donut of death dot in it. So the controls. Now, again, very AR style. In fact, it actually takes some AR elements, which includes the trigger. So for the magazine release, you'll see there is a button and there's also a lever. Truthfully, you're going to want to use this lever. It's kind of AK style, so you get this paddle here. So you want to, use that to be able to pull the magazines out. The button does work, but it is a very hard push. So that button basically pushes that lever in, but it does take a lot of force to do that. I did notice it got softer and easier at the time. So if you're, running a gun, it's kind of a further reach. So, if you can still hit that, but you have to push it really hard to get that thing to release. So I would suggest using that paddle. On the bolt catch and release, it's actually pretty easy to use. There is a bolt catch on the side that if you are going to hold the bolt open, you can actually use it all in one hand. And then release is just like an AR. So it has that little paddle style, push it to release. The only downside I would say to that is it's pretty narrow. So it's just one kind of continuously straight line here. So it would be nice to have more of a paddle there, which there's aftermarket options for, to get more pressure. But when running the gun, and then obviously if you put it in a full mag, it's not hard to push. It's easy to find. It pops out enough when it's locked back there to where you can push it and send that bolt home. The safety on it. The safety is ambidextrous, so it's on both sides. It's interesting. So it almost feels like it's not there. It's very narrow, so it fits very close to kind of the frame of the gun. It is all plastic on both sides. It doesn't feel like super overbuilt or anything like that. But the thing I like about it is it's very light. So I don't feel like I have to work it in or break it in or anything like that. So even though I don't have like this huge purchase on anything to activate on or off, it's very easy to do just that. So it was one of those things where I wasn't sure at first, but using it was no problem. I thought they did some black magic. I was reading about, they say, oh, it takes AR triggers. I don't see any trigger pins on this. So how does it take AR triggers? What's actually kind of neat about it is there's kind of this metal carrier on the inside of it that holds all of the trigger components. So there's a CMC trigger in this now. The stock trigger comes with it just fine. They also have aftermarket straight triggers if you wanted to. Those are kind of mil specs, so 5.5, 6 pound triggers. Wanted something a little lighter, so this is a 3.5 pound trigger. But it's very easy, actually. It's this kind of this little stamped metal retainer. This whole thing pulls out, and it contains everything in there for the trigger. So whether you wanted to, update it with a cassette style and just drop the whole cassette in, or if you wanted to change springs or throw in some type of Geisley or whatever, you can do that. So any AR trigger will work in that, which is pretty nice. As far as disassembly goes, it's super easy. Just like an AR, there's 2 pins here that you pop out, and then the whole bottom half kind of pops out, and then the back, whether it's the brace or the 1913, just rocks out, and then inside it is the buffer and bolt. Now the operating system on this, it's not a gas gun, but it's very much like the HK MP5 series, as that it's a roller delay. So it's going to do a couple things for you. One, it's going to tame the recoil of the firearm. So, and again, you'll see the differences. We'll put slow-mo with all three guns here. The UMP being a straight blowback gun, you have way more felt recoil. The gun's very light, and it's a straight, like I said, straight blowback. So that bolt weight is what is slowing that cycle of operations kind of down. The LWRC has kind of their own unique setup where the barrel reciprocates as well to help mitigate some recoil, so it unlocks a little bit later. But the same idea with the Stribog. So the way the roller delay works, it basically unlocks the bolt slower, so you get more of the energy out of the gun before everything comes back. So it's going to give you less perceived recoil. It also makes a difference when you're shooting it suppressed, because yes, gases and the bullets go out this end, and so does a lot of sound. But what people tend to forget is on semi-automatics, when that bolt comes back and opens up, gases and sound comes out of that way too. So the more I can get downrange and through that suppressor, the less I have to worry about coming out through the back action of the gun, making it quieter. So that is another good reason why I like this so much as a suppressor host. One, it's roller delay, and two, it shoots that kind of that slow 45. So immediately it's easy to jump in and understand the manual of arms. If you shot much, if you're coming from ARs, whatever, the gun's easy to figure out. Again, the lever for the magazine, I wish that was a little bit longer. It was easy to use, you never kind of miss it. If it was maybe a quarter of an inch, half inch longer, I think that paddle would really be nice, especially if you want to do, like, if you had to do more speed stuff, or if you're kind of losing, if you're under a lot of adrenaline and you're kind of losing those fire and motor skills, having a little bit longer paddle would be nice. But the gun presents itself really well. Now, I didn't run that SB tactical brace. We actually have a KGB arm on the back of it with a tail hook. I like that setup just because of its rigidity. SB tactical brace looks great, but it can flex. And if you really kind of pull that gun into your shoulder, you'll feel that. But this has that tail hook on it, which is all aluminum. The arm of here is all aluminum. And I still retain the function of being able to fold it if we wanted to throw it in a bag somewhat. Being that it's only an 8-inch barrel, I mean, this whole gun isn't that long in total. So very compact. It's also not too heavy, so most of it is aluminum or polymer. If you were to run it in a bag, this would be a great kind of truck gun or backpack gun. Or if you were doing some type of detail, you could run a single point sling on this and keep it under a jacket quite well when it's in its folded configuration. That being said, though, our range here indoors is 50 yards. Keep groups, no problem with that. You can also shoot it pretty fast too. One, because the trigger and the way that recoil impulse is, I don't have to really chase that dollar around. That thing can stay pretty much on target the whole time as fast as I can pull the trigger. So that's very confidence inspiring. Same thing, bolt lock back, so I know exactly when that thing runs dry. It's not, like some guns where they don't have that last round bolt open, and you kind of waste precious time. So last round bolt open's nice. Also the bolt release, having it when you insert your mag, you can click it with your thumb, or you can come up and grab the charging handle. That's nice too. Disassembling and cleaning I really enjoy, just because it's so easy. There isn't a whole lot of moving parts. The roller part it comes apart very easy. There's basically one pin that slides out to disassemble it. So everything about that's been very well thought out and kind of engineered to be simple. So that's one thing I appreciate. Aesthetically, I really like the way this gun looks, especially with these straight HK style magazines in them. I think it's aesthetically very pleasing. Now, the magazines, it is something that we need to talk about and address. And it's not just with this gun, but it's with basically any of these 45 subguns that take those HK pattern mags. that is a rabbit hole that I think I've been chasing without knowing it. So when when we opened the video, we talked about the LWC and having a lot of issues there with feeding. And then the only failures that ever were induced on this gun is when we were running some of the HK mags. Now, the gun's been flawless as far as like, I mean, I haven't had any type of failure to feeds, failure to extract, eject. I mean, things been running great, no accuracy issues. So a lot of fun just being able to put a lot of rounds downrange with it without having to worry about, you know, chasing stuff. The only time we noticed though, if any malfunctions occurred was only when running mags. So I know I kind of contradicted it. Like, I don't think this gun had any malfunctions. I think the magazines had malfunctions. And I spent a lot of extra time and ammo testing that by going back to running their stock mags. So these are the mags that Grand Power sent. These are 20 round mags compared to like the 25 round mags that you see in the HK style. And there was mixed reviews, I think, when these first came out, but they're on a different generation of these to where, man, I don't know, we've had several hundred rounds and no issues. So, you know, I'm not going to say everything's great and perfect, but I haven't had any issues with these yet. These actually ran really well. So I'm going to say with the HK mags, we have probably 30 of them. 85% of them ran just fine. Others that didn't run that great, most of the time it's because they get used a lot, so they're just dirty and they probably need maintenance, and the springs are probably weak. So as far as the gun goes, I have no concerns about if I were to take this gun and trust my life with it, put it in a bag, you know, put it, you know, in the truck, whatever. The gun I know works well. Magazines, it's one of those things, and I guess that's with any gun. You want to make sure that the magazines that you're going to use and take with you work for that gun. So it goes back to this. So I have confidence in the provided magazines. They actually work really well. I wish they held a little bit more rounds. You know, 20 is good, 25 is better. But an interesting thing I found about these is, and we'll do probably a review because I found out about this and we'll talk about it in a different video, is these cured all my LWRC problems. I had nothing but Jam City with that gun, and then it dawned on me, why don't I try a different magazine? Not thinking that, you know, these obviously work as well. 200 rounds, not one issue. So I definitely, that just kind of proved to me that the magazines are very, very much a deciding factor of how the guns work and if they work well or not. So kind of in closing, I think the Grand Power Stribog is a phenomenal option. One, for price and for features. You know, this gun is priced well below any of the other competitors out there. And the kind of the look quality is very good. QC has been great on it. Just the fit and finish, everything's really nice. And then the shootability of it. So again, I can't get over how, you know, it's a very soft shooting round, and it's confidence inspiring. You know, 9mm is great, and that's kind of what, you know, everything is nowadays, but it's nice to have something different. You pull this out, you know, you're shooting big 45 rounds downrange to somebody, that's gonna put heads down, especially with the right ammo. 45 is really great. Even suppressed. So this gun will actually live mostly with a suppressor on it, and we're gonna probably use this and favor this for our night vision classes and demonstrations. So I'm really excited to get into that, but let us know what you think down in the comments. If you have any questions that maybe I didn't answer. I know there's a lot of videos out there on the 10mm, but, you know, not so much the 45. And please let me know. I'd be happy to let you know what my thoughts or experience are on it. And as always, we'll see you guys on the range.